Welcome back to another episode, guys. Hopefully this is the episode that you have all been waiting for. It is the painting of the shed floor, and I will be revealing the color of the floor in this episode, so get freaking keen for that.
Tell me, is it whack up in the air? Rapping scattered off the gear. I can map him, get the air. It's like a tracker, get distracted, send him back like in the mail. Not a fraction of them real. Catch him lacking, run the drill. Running through the shit like a motherfucking dage.
Okay, welcome back, guys. Today we're going to be painting the floor, so it's time to prep. I've done freaking so much prepping on this concrete so far. It's just like, obviously every time you do painting, it's like 90% prep work and 15% actually painting. Once you get into the painting and that's done, then you can sit back and watch it dry. How freaking exciting. So basically the acid, I ended up using like a strong as concentrate of acid. If you're ever going to do concrete etching yourself, I would highly recommend you do like a really strong batch, because when I did the smaller, lower percentage batch, which was 1 to 10 parts, which is what the label said, it came out, it like lifted a little bit, but not really as much as what you want. So now if you feel it, it literally feels like sandpaper. It's not smooth at all, but it does leave behind like dust, like a whole layer of freaking concrete dust. So you've got to get all that off. I have gurneyed this out like 6 times now, and it's been sitting for like 3 days, almost 4 days to dry out, and it is all really freaking dry. There's a trick you can do with a piece of Glad wrap, and you put that on the concrete and you let it sit for a while, and then you just see if there's any condensation lifting up out of the concrete, and if there's none, you're good to go. I'm not even going to bother with that because it's been drying for freaking ages, and it has been quite warm, and the sun does rise right through the front here, so it should be sweet. The only area I was concerned about was this patch here that had that hydraulic fluid on, and I just freaking baked today. Like, look at this shit. That is like a lot of concrete missing from there, from the freaking acid, man. Like, hectic shit. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed that thumbnail. Obviously it was a joke, and I thought it was pretty funny. And yeah, so what I've done, I've got another hydraulic pump on here. You can get these on eBay for $316, like 240 volt ones. So I've hooked that up, and I've wired in this old switch that was here, so that's got power to it now. Just here, that's hooked up, and so is that one. They're both hooked up, except I've got to get a mate in to hook up the hydraulic line from the top into the motor, and then both motors will work. Same with that one. These are a modification, so I can't lift them up with the motors at the moment, so I've just put some steel under there, jacked it up, and put some blocks underneath to hold it so I can get the roller underneath there. Because to paint this floor, I will be using rollers instead of, like, obviously you're not going to use a freaking paintbrush to do this shed. That would be a crazy idea if you were going to do it by a paintbrush. Obviously you would go out and buy these like $10 freaking rollers that I saved a couple that still survived from when we did the red floor. As you can see, you get some trays, you need a bucket, and if you're mixing up a lot of paint, I highly suggest you buy one of these. You chuck it in a drill, it goes whoop whoop whoop. That will mix it up really well. So we've got the paint over here, can't get too close so you'll see the color name. There's also, massive thanks to one of you guys for donating this anti-slip additive that I'm going to sprinkle on at like the front of the shed there, so that when you're trying to drive in, your tires have a little bit more traction, and when it's wet, I'm guessing the front's going to get wet, not really anything else. But I will, if I got some more, I'll sprinkle it like around the hoist posts, because that's like the area where you're going to be walking around, and like maybe like where your tires are going to be. I don't know, I'll see how much I've got in there, but thanks so much for donating that after he did his shed. And he also was talking about the flakes, because what I wanted to do flakes over the whole concrete, and I wanted to make it really thick so it would basically look exactly like you can see right there, and that would be so gangster and freaking awesome. But these flakes, to do this shed, the cheapest price I could get was $800 to get enough flakes to do the freaking floor, and that's like way more expensive than the actual paint. So moving on, we're not doing the flakes anymore. We're just gonna paint it. It's not a crazy cool color, but it's gonna be a lot better than just cement. And it's really gonna be nice to have like a nice epoxy floor where it's easy to clean, and you can actually see stuff on the floor. That's one of the things with these flakes. He said, if you drop a bolt or something, like good luck finding it, it disappears forever. So massive shout out to Kustom Paints and Industrial for getting me a freaking wicked deal on the paint that they've supplied for this freaking shed build. And like, man, I appreciate it, because I wasn't even gonna do the floors. I was just gonna like leave it bare and then maybe grab some paint from Bunnings and do a really shit job. But these guys came on board. Really appreciate you guys. So if any of you guys are gonna be doing any painting on your cars, like 2-pack paint, any industrial flooring, anything at all, make sure you hit these guys up. They are in the Sunshine Coast. So give them a quick Google. I'll put the link in the description below. And yeah, make sure you check them out. They'll definitely help you out. Really nice guys. So go check them out. Yeah, thanks so much guys. I do really appreciate it when people help me out. It does make it a lot easier when you're doing like big scale things like this. Let's blow this out. We've got to get the leaves out and then mix up some bloody paint and start rolling it. Super keen. I masked off the other day. I masked off like this little section here. So that's pretty much the only part of the whole shed that I'm worried about getting this paint on. If I get it on all these areas, I really don't care, because the acid literally started eating into this cold gal. So if you're gonna do acid, definitely mask off your steel poles or anything that you don't want acid on. I didn't realize it was gonna actually eat into that. It makes sense now, but yeah, at the time, I didn't put too much thought into that. But you can fully see the difference right here. So that's the concrete beforehand, and then that's the concrete now. So it's even a different freaking color. Oh, that is pretty nuts. So, oh man, I'm freaking excited. Let's get this time lapse going. And first step, blow all the shit out. Alright, so now we're going to mix up the paint. It does say do 5% thinners, because normally you have part A, part B, and then you add those together, and then you put in thinners as well to thin it down a little bit. I've got 4 tins of A, 4 tins of B, and I'm just going to mix up 1A, 1B, smack them together, no thinners, and then just see how much it covers. Because I've got 4 bays, then I've got 4 tins of each. Hopefully 2 tins, part A and B. This is getting quite complex, isn't it? Part A and B, hopefully those 8 litres can do 1 bay, and then I have 8 litres for each bay, and I can do it like quite thick without any thinners. But we're just going to see how the first one goes, and then hopefully it covers that whole section, because it's just a 1 coat thing. This shit is freaking good, this paint. So it's a wattle protective coating. It's E-pineapple. E-pineapple. I don't think I'm saying that right at all. But it's E-pineapple. Standard cure. It's a 2-pack. It's a polyamide cured epoxy gloss finish coat. So that sounds pretty cool. And yeah, you just whack down 1 layer and then it dries glossy. Freaking sick. Not like the other red floor. Used like a different brand, Dulux. Firstly, ripped me off hard. Secondly, that shit was a mission. Like, we had to do 4 coats because we thinned it down, so that's why I'm not doing thinners. But let's see how it goes, eh? This is where I put gloves on because I tend to get like super painty. Like, I don't know why, but I just start painting myself. I don't know if you guys can relate, but these boots are actually probably the last time you'll see them on this episode. Yeah, I'm gonna get some new boots because these ones are absolutely cooked. I've been hanging on as long as possible, but it's time to go. I have got like 3.5 years out of these boots, so pretty good. Pretty good considering I wear them every day. And I only brought that up because last time we painted the floor over there, I wore these boots and got red paint on them, and there's still some red on there. You can barely see it. But anyway, let's start rolling. So that was the first attempt at painting the floor. Basically, it's going really well. I ran out of time and it was getting too dark. Obviously, when the sun goes down, the temperature gets colder. We are in winter at the moment in Australia, Queensland here. So it was getting too cold and I didn't want to keep painting throughout the night because, yeah, it's going to affect the paint and it's not really worth doing it. So I waited, and then the next day, it pissed down rain all day, sorta. It was like a Queensland rainy day. And some of the water came in to the two bays here because I had the doors open to let it vent, and so the concrete got wet again at the front here. So pain in the ass, but what I'm going to do, I'm going to roll out the paint for this whole section, like the whole shed except for those two little sections at the front of the shed there. I'll let them dry out for another couple of days, and then I'll just come through and I'll paint those bits once it's dry, because yeah, the water is really not a good thing. I could like just wait a couple of days and do it all in one go, but I'm limited on time at the moment, like with juggling Enzo and all this stuff, so I'm using every bit of time I can, and I've got a fair bit of time now to just roll this out. It's a good time of the day. It's Saturday today, so yeah, I'm gonna roll this out now, do another little time lapse, and yeah, I'm so excited. You can sort of see the color in the background, but once it gets up here a bit closer, you'll be able to see the proper color, and yeah, it's gonna look really cool, especially with the black contrast. So super pumped on how it's going. Let's finish as much as we can today. Let's go.
Yeah, we're not too far off from releasing these albums. Yeah, tell them motherfuckers go ahead and play it. Homie, we made it. Line up my old bitches, believe that we dated. I call out my homies, we leaving for Vegas. They come back with triple, we flip what we making. The shit is amazing, but know it ain't front. I made a request for whatever I want. You make a reserve.
Okay, so after a bloody couple hours of painting, freaking got it everywhere, just cleaned up. Legit got it everywhere. Like my boots are now white, and I don't know, I'm the most messiest painter, and I hope none of you guys are professional painters watching that, because I was just flicking it everywhere. But as long as you get all your drips and runs, as long as you run over it, it'll all flatten out and you'll be fine. But check out the freaking floor. I'm so pumped about it. I didn't know it was going to be this light, so it is close to white, which is what I originally wanted, which is sick, because the lights glow off the floor, making it even brighter inside, which is ideal for filming. But yeah, you may see around the hoists, I didn't mask them off, but that's because, yeah, the acid already got to them, so I have to paint them black again anyway. It's one of Zara's comments. She did not like that. But yeah, I went hard on the freaking last bit, because I had probably from about here, I finished that bit and I had all this to go, and I was like trying to like get it on there thick so I didn't waste any paint. And then these two sections, I ended up just sanding it because like it was damp, but I don't know, I just put it on real thick and hope for the best. Should be fine though, should be fine. I'm not too worried about it. I do have another 8 litres, or 4 litres once it's mixed up. No, 8 litres. I do have another 8 litres of this paint over there that I didn't use, which is sick, because I'm going to be doing some more slabs around the side there, and I'll just paint it the same colour, or keep it for like touch-ups, if I ever do need touch-ups. But overall, it came out freaking sick. Like, anyone could do this. You just need a roller, because, yeah, you're not going to be doing that by brush. You need rollers. You need a paint tray, a mixer, some paint, and prep your floor and go ham, mate. It's freaking awesome. I'm super pumped to move on with the next step now, which is the pallet racking, which has been sitting around here for ages now, but the floor needed to be done first, that's for sure. I think once the pallet racking goes in at the back here, on that back wall, it's just gonna come to life. It's gonna look like a freaking actual dream shed, which is what I'm aiming for. A lot of people were saying, like, is Nolland Industries gonna be doing like private work on people's cars? The answer is no. The only time you'll see cars in here that aren't mine are my friends' cars, or if there's some other like weird scenario that I'm like doing a favor for someone, but I'm not going to be doing like customers here all the time. This is legit for me and my close friends to freaking enjoy, just because we can, and then also to fit more cars in, you know? So hopefully when the car market or when the financial market crashes, the car market crashes with it. Fingers crossed on that, and then hopefully by that time we've saved up a bit of money and can get a couple of new cars, maybe. But I do have something pretty exciting to share with you guys on the next one. But if you want to see that, make sure you hit like on this, drop a comment below on the video. Yeah, let me know if you had a laugh of the way my painting style, and then yeah, if you haven't already, hit the subscribe button. Freaking really appreciate all you guys, like, so much. I don't even know how, you can't really put it in words how cool it feels to have you guys support me. It's unreal. I didn't think we would get to this stage, and we're only early on, so appreciate it, and let's just keep on kicking goals and get some bloody cars in here. Alright, catch you on the next one, guys.
We made it, line up my old bitches, believe that we dated. I call up my homies, we leaving for Vegas. They come back with triple, we flip what we making. The shit is amazing, but no it ain't front. I made a request for whatever I want. You make a reserve and just hope it ain't gone. The shit is a shame, I just level my coins. I carry the team, I feel pain in my joints. I'm speaking the truth, but I don't get the point. I bring up the issues, you don't want that noise. I don't want to dish you, attack at your boy. But shit, if I had to, it's gonna be a murder scene.